Good morning. Actually, good afternoon. It's currently 5 p.m. on January 29, 2016, and I'm recording this 11 days before your meeting because unfortunately I'm not able to be in Kelowna because of teaching commitments at the University of Alberta. But for me and for you, there are several advantages to pre-recording this speech of mine. Firstly, I don't have to experience the agony of having my jokes bomb in person. I don't have to experience the nerves and stress associated with speaking to all of the teachers and administrators in the district. I don't have to face the music and answer any questions if I offend someone or say something controversial. And the benefit for you is that you get a guarantee that I can't go over my allotted 10 minutes of time. And my friends in the audience can assure you that I've never talked about anything for less than 10 minutes in my entire life. So if my speech begins to drag in the middle bit, you can just simply turn me off and I'll never know. As a product of School District 23, I graduated from Mount Boucherie. I've been a teacher at OKM, KSS, and with the instructional leadership team. I'm very honored to be asked to speak to you today. And I'm very proud to call myself a teacher, and it means a lot to me that the collaborative team of teachers and administrators in the JET committee who organized this day thought enough of me to be able to invite me to share a few thoughts with you. The JET committee has collaboratively planned a really thoughtful and inspirational day for you today, and I'm very disappointed not to be there to be part of these conversations. I was especially looking forward to Starley's talk that would deepen my understanding of Aboriginal ways of knowing and the First Peoples principles of learning. And I also was really excited to visit some of the incredible sessions that are being offered by teachers. I couldn't believe the variety and amount of thought that had gone into planning these sessions. And I want to thank those teachers and recognize them for presenting those sessions today. It's really hard for teachers to plan and prepare and present to teachers, and teachers are a hard audience. And so I really salute you for putting yourself out there and for initiating these important conversations with colleagues about this redesigned curriculum. It's also a historic day for School District 23. I began teaching in the district in 1999, and I can't recall a single day in which all of the teachers and administrators in this district have been in the same room working together, shoulder to shoulder, towards a common goal, deepening the understanding of the redesigned curriculum. Now, before you head out into your sessions, and I'm not going to keep you long, I want to offer a few of my thoughts about the redesigned curriculum that might deepen your understanding about what's maybe new about this curriculum, and also to think about the shifts that this new curriculum might invite teachers to make in their own practice. Since 2012, I've been part of the social studies writing team that designed the K-9 and 10-12 social studies curriculum, and we're continuing our work on the 10-12 curriculum in the upcoming months. The writing teams have been, for all subjects, were made up of K-12 teachers from all parts of the province, and one of the things I think that really is the strength of this curriculum, it's very much made for BC teachers by BC teachers. Now, just because I was part of this curriculum team doesn't mean that I think the curriculum in general is perfect. No curriculum document is perfect. It's a document. It includes a list of objectives, goals, rationales, and learning outcomes that have no life on their own. And it's you and your students that are going to breathe a life into it and turn it from an intended document to a real document. Now, there are many aspects of the curriculum, looking back on it, that I wish I could do it all over, but as we know, education's never neat. It's very messy. Nothing ever works as it's planned, and something can always be improved. So I'm going to use that as a starting point. Now, in my talk today, I want to start by talking about what is the same with the previous curriculum, and then talk about what the differences are with this new curriculum. So firstly, it's pretty obvious what's not new. The curriculum focuses on literacy and numeracy, which were big parts of the previous curriculum. In terms of content hasn't been reinvented. In some cases, it's been rearranged, it's been reprioritized, or it's in place in different sequences or in different grade levels, but we haven't invented any new curriculum. As I say, as a social studies teacher, we didn't reinvent history. It includes skills and processes like the previous curriculum did, alongside content. And the last piece is it's organized around subjects, and these subjects have been in existence for since BC curriculum began to be implemented, almost a century ago. Now, what's new about this new curriculum is, well, it offers more flexibility for teachers and students, and that was one of the key design principles for us, is we wanted to find a way that allowed teachers and students to personalize the curriculum. What was for their local context, for what was interesting them, for what was going to be meaningful and relevant to them. Another key difference is that you'll notice that Aboriginal content and Aboriginal ways of knowing have been interwoven and embedded throughout the curriculum. They're not meant to stand on the side. It's not meant to something we do every once in a while. It orients the very way we think about the curriculum. The other piece is that this new curriculum is concept-based. It emphasizes deeper understanding of content rather than a focus on isolated facts and information. I've heard people say that there's less content, and I would disagree with that. I wouldn't say that there's less content, but there is less specific content objectives with a wider focus on more general content outcomes that allow for more interpretation. And lastly, I think that the big focus and the big new part about this is the focus on competencies. The core competencies that go out throughout the curriculum and the curricular competencies. So what does it mean to think specifically in math? What do these competencies look like? Or in social studies, or in science, or in foods, or these other curricular topics? And it's these competencies that I think that have been given an increased importance in this curriculum. That we see that content and competencies are interdependent and interwoven. They're of equal importance, that when we teach about content, we're also teaching about the competencies and vice versa. Okay? Now, there's a few shifts that are required with this new curriculum, and I think that I would call them more pivots. The first one is really teacher as learner, not teacher as expert. That what we ask for is alignment in this system, that teachers, administrators model the types of learners that they want students to be, that they're pursuing inquiry questions that are going to lead to deep understanding, that they're learning about the content and competencies and Aboriginal ways of knowing and assessment. And what we're really asking teachers is to place themselves beside students facing the curriculum, as Sandra Herbst would say, not trying to place them in front of the curriculum or have teachers just be the deliverers of curriculum. The second piece that's closely related to that is that teachers in this new curriculum are asked to be designers and not implementers. As you've seen with this curriculum, it's not something I can just take and be able to implement the next day. That teachers need to make sense of the curriculum for their students. They need to design activities that are going to improve their students' knowledge and understanding and ability and competencies in these various areas. And I think one of the exciting parts about the curriculum is it speaks to the professionalism and ability of teachers. The government is not mandating curriculum for them. They're saying, look, we trust that teachers have the tools and knowledge and understanding to be the best designers of this curriculum to meet the needs of their students. And it's really the opposite of the standardized control that we're seeing with the global education reform movement and various other things, that is really pro-teacher and really allows teachers to put their stamp and their interpretation of this curriculum. Another pivot is that really puts a lot of onus on teachers as collaborators, that teachers and administrators collaborate together to design courses, units, lessons that they think meets the needs and interests and relevance to their students in their particular context. Okay? And the last piece, I think, is really that teachers as questioners. Okay? That we're asking teachers that it's a very good thing to be asking really deep, thoughtful questions about this curriculum. However, I would push and say that there's a fine line between being skeptical and being cynical. Skeptics question everything, but they can be convinced by evidence or sound reason, whereas cynics are distrustful and pessimistic about everyone and everything. So we'd ask students to ask important questions, things like, what's important in this curriculum for students to learn? Why should students learn to do this or know about this? What are the best ways to design learning activities to foster this deeper understanding? How do we know, as the teachers, whether students understand what they've learned? That we ask ourselves whether students are enjoying learning and that it's meaningful and personally relevant to them and their lives. So today, before you head out in your sessions, I want you to really think about a couple of things. It's very rare that we have an opportunity together to have a day like this, where teachers get to meet with administrators and talk and think and work and visit sessions. And we certainly know that grade K-9 teachers have a little bit more urgency in doing this. Their curriculum is going to be implemented next year. There's lots of the curriculum outcomes have been finalized. It's very clear what they're teaching. The grade 10 and 12 teachers, grade 10 to 12 teachers I've talked to are feeling a little bit more in flux. They're wondering, well, what's the grad program going to look like? Are there going to be exams? If the content's not in the finalized, what should I be doing right now? What kind of planning can I even do? And I would say to these teachers is to not focus on what we don't know about the redesigned curriculum, but focus on what we do know and how can we deepen our understanding of these areas. So I would ask you that during this day to take some time to ask questions and to do some learning, to put yourself in that stance of a learner. What is a core competency and how can I teach and assess these competencies in my classroom? What curricular competencies have been included in the K-9 curriculum that I know will be in the 10 to 12 curriculum can I teach and assess, and how can I do this more explicitly? How can I integrate and understand Aboriginal content and Aboriginal ways of knowing, and how can I integrate this into my courses? What do I want students even to know and be able to do by the time that we're in these particular courses? Now I know a lot of teachers are saying, well, yes, I know this blue sky thinking would be very nice, but I remind you that we're in the learning business and not the efficiency business. There's lots of things that we could be doing right now, but sometimes, as my old boss Rhonda Ovelson used to say, sometimes we have to stop doing great things and start doing in order to do better things. So I really advise that you take the time today to talk with your colleagues, talk with K-9 teachers who are already working with this curriculum. Spend some time doing this blue sky thinking. What's the best case scenarios for the curriculum? What challenges and limitations does this curriculum offer me in my teaching? And to take that time to really think about these things. So I want to thank you very much for listening to me today. And I appreciate you and all the work that you're putting into it. And thank you very much.